Morning chaps, Martin's shave tests. I just wanted to catch up a little bit on restoration. This is from my last video. This is the beautiful Philharmonica 14 double temple early model first series. You can tell it's first series by the long curved address. It had a few little stains which I wasn't very happy with. So I've just come back from the workshop. I think I pretty much righted them as much as I wish to by putting it on a buff. Allow me to show you. Here's some different sizes of buff wheel. This is a very fine cotton buff, stitched cotton buff, to be used with usually green, which is the famous chrome dioxide. Very effective stuff. But also, to get out the deeper scratches, you do need to use one of these little abrasive rubber wheels. These are very handy for getting into corners, right up tight, removing nasty stains. Then, that's an abrasive cotton mop with very fine jeweler's carborundum. Anyway, finishing off usually with the old green chrome dioxide again, which we all know very well because you can use that on your strops. However, whenever you do a little bit of buffing, ending up with sort of that size, you do find you've usually ruined your edge. Now, I'm very lucky today. I didn't ruin the edge, so let me show you what I'm going to just refresh the edges with. Let me turn the water on. I have a large for me, Thuringian. Now, this stone has very high reputation, usually without a box, whereas this one, which is the smaller Thuringian, comes with a box, which has got Escher, which was the original company that was selling most of these Thuringian stones in the 19th, early 20th century, and this one came with its box. So you can take them normally out of the box and use them. I'm going to use both because I want to, but just to show you again how lovely the little boxes are. I rather like them. Anyway, let's start off by just refreshing the edge. It already hanging hair tests in places, but it did get a bit of a bashing from me by buffing it. As soon as you touch the edge of a razor with a buff, you just ruin the edge. With this one, because I only had a few light stains to get rid of, this razor is now almost perfect, not quite, but it did have a little bit of corrosion right on the top of the spine, right on the nose. That's now been removed and polished. It had a little bit, unfortunately, where the tang joins on, always there. Anyway, let's use a little bit of water. I'm not going to drive up a slurry. I'm just going to go straight onto this beautiful little Thuringian. I'll turn it around so you don't get blinded. Yeah, very gentle stone. Now, I'm not going to do a lot, guys, for the simple reason I don't think I need to. I think this particular edge was quite compliant. It passed hanging hair test 90%, but just refreshing every now and again doesn't do any harm. And certainly refreshing on a Thuringian, which one can add a little tiny bit of soap from a dispenser. So that's now soap and water, which is even more kind in my opinion. Anyway, let's see what it does with soap and water. Yeah, you can actually feel it's slightly more gentle. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. This isn't going to be taking very much steel off the edge. You could do this forever on a razor this size and it would last forever. Problem is, who do we pass them on to? Unless you're very lucky, it's very hard to find someone that deserves a razor of this quality. This is a real heirloom piece. It has, of course, a little hunting scene, which is absolutely beautiful on the scales. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you to tears. I just thought I'd show you a few little tools with a tray. I'll try, with my very limited technical experience, I will try to add a few photos, because I'm not a photo expert, right at the end. But at the moment, this feels absolutely lovely. Let's try it on my nail. Oh, yeah. Nail test is a very, very good test. Does no harm, not to the blade, not to the edge, certainly not to the edge, and not to you. So I always recommend, if that's the right word, the hanging hair test as the final test after you've stropped it. So at the moment, this is pre-stropping, just getting the edge refreshed on this beautiful double temple Philharmonica 14. Let's go to the other side. Nah, no need. No, keep to this side. And as a sound bite, let's try this big one. And say big. This is your classic 19th century, early 20th century, I suppose it's called barber's hone. The joy of a barber's hone like this, and this is a little beauty. Again, I'm going to use a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of soap in a second. I just want to get the feel. So you can see it's got one little line, natural line in it on this side. Oh, that's smooth. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, it just goes to show this one came in its lovely little wooden box, wasn't expensive. The smaller Thuringians, Escher stones, aren't that dear. Big ones, you better sell your house because they are that expensive. The big one with all its original card case, with all the writing on it, very hard to come by. Many, 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 many hundreds of pounds. So that, I'm very impressed. Out of the two, the big one has a coarser feel. Let me just show you. Then I'll shut up. Yeah, this one still got the suds on it. Just, yeah. It is a slate, and I think they came in different varieties. This one didn't come in its box and didn't come with a warranty of any sort. So, but I bought it in good faith off eBay as a Thuringian. I have no proof. The only thing I would say is it does feel like one. No, it's still very nice. Just slightly, very slightly more coarse in its feel than this little belter, which really is smooth. I'll try its other side, just with water. Yeah. As I say, if you can pick one of these small Thuringians up, you're doing yourself a huge favour. They have a totally different feel to other stones, and they're a very simple method. This is just a refresh. That's all it is. If you want to set the bevel, you better use some heavier stones. So I'm not bevel setting. I was fairly happy with the bevel on this. I just know that after Martin's done his usual messing about with buffs, you're not going to have the best edge in the world. But hopefully this will be very good. So you see me do a few strokes, a few laps. Yeah. I think that'll be sufficient. I really do. So what I'm going to do now is run away in a second and put it on a decent Kaniyama strop, bring up the edge to perfection, and I'll show you with it another day. This is just a very short video, guys, just to show my interpretation of restoration. Start off with a coarse version of one of these, stitched buff. After you've used these little rubber abrasive wheels, but they come in different varieties. Do not do it with a very coarse one. It will literally bring up sparks. That means you'll never get rid of the scratches. However, that is now pretty good. Let me wipe it with my handkerchief, my kerchief. Yep. Good for another 150 years, if we can find someone of the next generation that appreciates it. Anyway, guys, that was it. Martin's Test Shaves, over and out. Hi chaps, I'm back upstairs in the bathroom where I normally do the shaving.
just wanted to finish off a little bit on the restoration video. This is the cheapest you can get. This is a Harry Alley strop from London. Harry Alley London is both canvas and leather. This is, I know, 20 quid's worth, but it will bring up a very good edge. So if you use white thiers or even the green chrome dioxide, and then finish off with stropping on the leather, thus. Anyway, point I'm trying to make, slowly, is when you go to hanging hair test after stropping, you'll invariably find the middle or the rear has got a perfect hanging hair test edge, and perhaps the nose doesn't. So take it back, as I just did, and test on the nose. And this time, I'll guarantee you'll have a very good edge. In fact, if I can just grab a hair, I have a friendly barber that supplies you with such wonderful things. See if I can actually get it to hanging hair test. And if I can, it'll be a miracle. Perfect. Hear that? And of course, it's important to hanging hair test along the whole length of the blade. Otherwise, one part of the blade may be very, very sharp, and the other part not. So here we go again. One more time. Yep. Yep. That's perfect. So that's the whole length of the blade tested, hanging hair tested, on the cheapest strop I could find. That's a Harry Alley from London, with a nice canvas back, covered in, of course, white thiers paste. Anyway, that's already a shave good now, guys. So another day I'll do a shave. This is just a little touch up on the video to show you don't need to spend a fortune on strops, although I do like a nice strop. This one is Harry Alley. Cheap as chips, but there you go. Anyway, guys, I hope this may have been vaguely interesting, and I haven't wasted my time. Bye for now. Martin's Test Shaves.